Let's talk about that little box sitting in your living room. You know, your Wi-Fi router. We all think of it as our gateway to the internet, but what if I told you it's doing something else? What if I told you it can literally sense you moving around your house right now? So let me just ask you this, straight up. Do you think that router can see you get up from your chair and walk into the kitchen? I mean, right through a solid wall, with no camera anywhere? Well, let's find out. The answer is yes. A big, unambiguous yes. And this isn't some science fiction concept. It's a feature that's commercially available right now. But here's the real kicker. The fine print says that all the data about your movements can be handed over to law enforcement with just a subpoena. And your internet provider, they don't even have to tell you it's happening. Okay, so how on earth is this even possible? Well, let's start with one of the biggest players in the game, Comcast. They have a service called Xfinity WiFi Motion, and it's already turned millions of American homes into essentially a motion detection grid. The truly clever part about this is that you don't need any new gadgets. It uses the stuff you already have. Your Xfinity router talks to your printer, your smart TV, your Xbox, and all of those things suddenly become a giant invisible sensor network spread throughout your house. It's so sensitive, it can literally detect the wave of a hand. So yeah, when you get up for that glass of water at 2 in the morning, your router knows. So how does Wi-Fi actually see through walls? I mean, it sounds like magic, right? But this isn't some kind of clever hack or a software bug. It's actually built on the fundamental physics of how radio waves have always worked. The secret ingredient here is something called channel state information, or CSI for short. Just think of it as a super detailed map of how all the Wi-Fi signals are bouncing around your home at any given second. Every single modern Wi-Fi device, from your router to your phone, is constantly generating this data. It's the raw fuel for motion sensing. The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine your home is a perfectly still swimming pool. The Wi-Fi signals are like tiny, invisible ripples on the surface. Now, when you walk through a room, you disturb those ripples. You create a unique disturbance in that pattern. Your router's antennas are so sensitive they can see those tiny changes in the CSI data. And a machine learning algorithm looks at that disturbance and says, yep, that's a person moving right there. Now it's really, really important to understand this. Comcast might be the biggest example, but they are not alone, not by a long shot. This isn't just one company doing a weird experiment. This is an entire industry-wide movement. And just look at the scale of this. A recent report from MIT Technology Review found that at least 30 million homes in the US already have this capability right now. This isn't some far-off future threat. The hardware and software are already deployed. And here's a look at who's playing. You've got Xfinity, of course. Verizon Fios is shipping their new routers with this tech already built in, using a partner called Origin Wireless. Then you have these software companies like Cognitive Systems that provide the Wi-Fi motion tech to over 160 different ISPs across the globe. Even huge companies like Deutsche Telekom in Europe have their own version. The trend is undeniable. And this is where the story takes a huge turn. Because this technology isn't just going to be an optional add-on that you can turn on or off. It's on its way to becoming a core, fundamental part of what Wi-Fi is. I want you to meet IEEE 802.11bf. Now, that sounds super technical and boring, but trust me, it's a huge deal. It's a brand new Wi-Fi standard being developed by a group that includes massive tech companies like Huawei and Qualcomm. And its entire purpose is to standardize wireless LAN sensing. Basically, they're building motion detection right into the Wi-Fi protocol itself. Think about what that means for a second. The implications are massive. Once this standard is adopted, you won't be buying a router with motion sensing. You'll be buying a router that is a motion sensor, period. It'll be baked right into the silicon, just like connecting to the internet is today. Okay, so the tech is here, and it's getting baked into the standard. But what about the rules? What can these companies, or even the government, actually do with this unbelievably sensitive data about what's happening inside our homes? This right here, this is a direct quote from Comcast's own official policy for this service. I want you to read it carefully. They can disclose data from Wi-Fi Motion to law enforcement without further notice to you. Let that sink in. They can share the patterns of your life inside your own home, when you're there, when you're not, which rooms are active, and they don't have to tell you they're doing it. And you really need to see this timeline to understand how we got here. Back in 2016, the FCC put in some solid privacy rules that would have forced ISPs to get your direct permission before they could sell or share your data. Just 1 year later, Congress completely repealed those rules. The very regulations that could have protected us here were just gone. And this fits into a much larger pattern. A 2021 FTC report found that ISPs already collect way more data than any of us realize. They combine it all, our personal info, our app usage, our web browsing, to build these incredibly sensitive profiles on us. And now, to that massive pile of data, you can add physical presence and motion data from inside our own homes. Okay, let's take a breath. Let's talk about what could happen with this tech. We need to be clear about what's confirmed versus what are the potential what-ifs. And then, most importantly, let's talk about what you can actually do to protect yourself. Now, privacy advocates and security experts have raised some serious concerns. Could this data be used by insurance companies to price your premiums based on how active you are, or even your sleep patterns? Absolutely. Could it be a terrifying tool in cases of domestic abuse or stalking? No question. Researchers have even pointed out that a skilled programmer sitting in a car outside your house could theoretically use your own Wi-Fi signals to see if you're moving around inside without even needing your password.
So what do you do? Well, number one, and this is by far the most powerful step you can take, buy your own modem and router. Stop renting the hardware from your ISP. That one move takes away their control over the software on that device. If you can't do that, at least go into your Xfinity app right now and find the setting for Wi-Fi Motion and turn it off. And for good hygiene, it's always smart to put your IoT gadgets on a guest network and keep an eye on what's connected.
So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. We've always thought of our router as a door to the outside world, but we need to realize it's also become a sensor pointing back into our most private spaces. And that leaves us all with a very important question we need to start asking. Who's in control of what it senses?